The hospital had been abandoned for 30 years. They said it shut down after the fire. Something about the generators failing and the patients trapped inside. Nobody ever cleaned it up. No one ever went back. Not even the city. But I had to see it. I don't know why. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe something darker. I just wanted to feel something again. It was past midnight when I got there. The gate was twisted, half hanging, and the sign above it read, St. Augustine Asylum. The letters were nearly gone, scorched black at the edges. The air smelled like wet ash and rusted iron. I stepped inside, flashlight trembling in my hand. The walls were burned, streaked with what looked like handprints. Charred black fingers smeared up to the ceiling. The tiles crunched under my boots. Every step echoed too loud, like the sound was bouncing off something alive. I reached the old reception desk. Papers still scattered. A wheelchair on its side. The flashlight flickered for a second. That's when I heard it. A bell. Faint, distant, like a nurse's desk bell being pressed once. Then another, and another, coming closer. The sound grew sharper, echoing down the hallway. I called out, "Hello?" My voice didn't sound like mine. It came back to me distorted, broken, like someone else was repeating it from deeper in the building. The bell stopped. Then a whisper followed, faint and wet, right behind my ear. Room 304. I turned, the beam shaking across the peeling walls. Nothing there. But every instinct screamed that something was. I should have left. I didn't. The elevator shaft was caved in, so I took the stairs, each step groaning under my weight. I passed the second floor. The walls here were covered in writing, not graffiti. Names. Dozens of them, carved deep. Some had long scratch marks beside them, as if someone had tried to claw the words out after writing them. By the time I reached the third floor, the air felt heavy, too thick to breathe. My flashlight caught something on the far end of the hall. A figure. A patient gown. Thin legs. Head tilted. I froze. "Hey," I said, barely a whisper. Are you hurt?" The figure didn't move. It just stood there, head lolling slightly like it was listening. I stepped closer. The floor creaked. Then, in a single twitch, it turned its head. Completely around. I dropped the light. It rolled, spinning across the floor, beam flashing against walls splattered with something dark. When it stopped, I saw the figure was gone. But the hallway wasn't empty. The stretch of wall to my left was covered in handprints, fresh ones, dripping. And in the center, written in something too dark to be paint, Room 304. My stomach twisted. Every nerve screamed to leave, but my feet moved forward, slow, like something else was pulling them. The door to 304 was half open. I pushed it wider and gagged. The room was filled with beds, burnt frames, melted IV poles, and on every mattress there were shapes. Black, crisp shapes. The remains of people still in hospital gowns, still strapped to the beds. But that wasn't the worst part. They were all facing the door. Every single one. And their mouths were open, wide, like they'd been screaming when the fire reached them. I turned to run, but my flashlight went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Then, breathing. It came from the beds, dozens of breaths, ragged, wet, wrong, like lungs full of smoke and blood. The smell of burning hair filled the air. My light flickered back on for half a second, long enough to see every corpse sitting up. Their heads turned toward me in perfect unison. Then they started screaming. It wasn't human. It was like metal tearing. My ears rang, my nose started bleeding, and I ran. Down the hall, through the stairwell, the sound of footsteps behind me. Fast, uneven, like broken bones dragging. When I burst through the doors, I didn't look back. I ran into the woods until I couldn't breathe. The screaming stopped only when I fell to my knees. I looked down. My arms were covered in black fingerprints. When I got home, I checked the footage on my camera. It was all static, every frame except one. Right before I dropped the flashlight, a figure standing behind me in a nurse's uniform. The eyes were hollow, mouth stretched into a wide, burned grin. And carved into her chest were 3 numbers. 304. It's been 4 days. I haven't slept. The air in my apartment smells like smoke now, and every time I blink, I see them. Those blackened faces staring from the doorway. The bell rings at night, faint, from inside my closet. I threw the camera away. It came back, sitting on my bed this morning, still covered in soot. The lens is cracked. Inside the crack, there's something. Skin. Burned, fused into the glass. And when I look through it, I see the hospital, the halls, the beds, the nurse. She's standing closer every time. I can smell her now. If anyone finds this, don't go there.